But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Lean is. And Lean is actually a methodology, yeah, a set of attitudes and tools for the now. I just quickly wanted to show you this, just to give a little bit of a background to the one important slide that's coming up. Yeah. So Lean principles, Lean attitude, tools and techniques we're talking about. And this is again just to show you theoretical framework, to guide processes, because a lot of people don't really understand and they are what the Lean methodology is, because they say, okay, show me in step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what Lean how Lean can be applied. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a very good one, but that is processes. But what Lean gives us is the methodology itself, which is the framework that guides the processes. So, for example, Keith is a fantastic train the trainer NLP person. So if you wanted processes step 1, 2, 3, 4, he'll come and teach you how to get rid of your phobias, how to be able to stand and talk to the camera and stuff like that. But in his mind, he's got the NLP, he's got the methodology to guide you to do that. So that's just a little bit of a difference I wanted to show you. Right, so what's the process? That's the methodology, the guiding framework. The process here is a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. So what's the process? That's everything. How you wake up in the morning, how you have breakfast, make a cup of tea, how you plan a holiday and everything, But importantly, it is a good methodology that produces good and effective processes. So that's the important bit. Once you have the thinking, the doing becomes more effective and better. Right? Okay. That was my Siri making noise. Okay, I've got a bit of note here because otherwise I'll be drifting all the way over. So, right, after stressing the importance of the difference between methodology and process, I like to stress that process and not people, are important to look at to induce the correct behavior. This is one of the guiding theories that we have. Yeah. So think about it. When things don't go smoothly, we blame someone. Yeah. And how much time do we complain about going around correcting things other people? So for example, oh, this place is messy. People mess things up. They don't put things correctly. Or let's say if we have a common spreadsheet, that we use among the team, and then it's not filled correctly, then we say, oh, this person, why don't they fill out the thing correctly? Or if we are not losing weight, we're eating badly. Oh, my other half, my wife, my husband, they cook too good food. I just can't lose weight. I can't help it. Or even clients, customers, they're not giving me the correct information, or they won't listen to me, So again, all this is people fixation. We fixate on the people. But what Lean says is like, no, forget about the people first. Fix the process, because we need good processes to induce the correct behavior from the people. So here I want to show you, it's a very subtle visual image, an example, very private, but to demonstrate inducing, good processes, inducing people to do the stuff the way we want them to do things. So I haven't spoken about Lean Green. That's a big part of it, but it's very prevalent in all Lean solutions and problem solving. Yeah. Here I use, as you can see, I use all curtain hooks, bath curtain hooks, to use as hangers next to my landing, so that everyone that comes in and out, when they take off their coat, they have a space, a place, a home for the coats, and a coat back in its home. So if you look at that, this visual example, if you didn't know about waste, or you didn't know about looking at the process, you'll be thinking like, okay, I've got this hook. So you randomly just hook them up and get them used. But the point here is that if you look here, the decision making, looking at this process, it shows you that the way to hang, the correct way to hang that hook is actually with the smaller hook up and the bigger hook down. It's a very subtle example. Because why? Because having the tiny hook up makes it difficult for people to hang their coat. And if it makes it difficult for people to hang their coats, what happens? They won't use it. Yeah. So there's a bit of a thinking behind it. And if we look at this, yeah, knowing the 8 ways, which is process and ergonomic ways, yeah, that actually helps you think before you do the next thing. So a couple more examples, very, very simple ones I wanted to show you. Mistake proofing again, yeah, and this is actually engineering the environment, engineering the processes, yeah, depending on the purpose. For example, I've always wanted to induce my family, my people around me to eat and healthily, yeah, and live healthily. So what happens here is, depending on the purpose, strategically placed. If I had, for example, sell-by date vegetables, old carrot sticks, which people hate and don't want to eat. When I put it there with cheese and everything, nobody touches that. But here, I'm strategically leaving it, at the landing or on the tabletops and stuff. And guess what happens when I come back? It's disappeared. It's gone. Yeah. And also, for example, I like them occasionally to have a handful of nuts to eat healthy. So what do I do to induce? Because I can keep saying, oh, would you take this nuts? You have to eat nuts. It's good for you and stuff like that. So what I've done is actually place a small bowl of nuts out there, and guess what? They all disappear. Yeah, and that's one way of inducing the correct behavior. But then there's other ways. Another way of restricting snacking, for example, yeah, through portion control. What happens if that I take out a bowl of nuts, I put it out there, and guess what? It might actually encourage you to eat too much. Yeah. So if you actually want someone to eat that particular amount of nuts, for example, you portion it, you put it there, and then it gets done. And usually when I put all these different nuts, we've got pistachios, we've got cashews, we've got almonds, we've got, and the seeds are the least favorites. Seeds are the least favorite. So asking myself, instead of saying, oh, why don't you actually eat the seeds? They actually have a lot of minerals and calcium and all interesting stuff, But what I do is actually portion out or put out the seeds instead of I put out more seeds than the others, psychologically inducing people to do that. And here we're talking about the portion control. I do that with nuts because it's very, very high calories, but we don't need to. We can use the concept from the lean tools and techniques and everything, the concept of it, we can actually apply it anywhere. So for example, you want to restrict your own portion, in eating cookies. Instead of coming back, opening up a whole bag of cookies, break them up. For how much do you want them? By the threes, by the fives, portion them up. And guess what? When you open up and when you're feeling munchy, the moments when you're really weak, again, risk assessment, I know Monday evenings I'm really weak. You pull out the drawer, instead of taking all the cookies, you take out a portion. You can do this for heart, but I do that for cheeses. Believe it or not, I buy many different, Tony will know, I buy many different kinds of cheese. What happens if I put them all out? We sit down around in a dining table, everybody, I'll be eating and eating and eating. But then what happens? To induce the correct behavior, I do something called the French board. I have like 5 different cheeses, but I take a slice of them and then I put them in one portion, and it goes in the fridge or it goes into the freezer. Every time I feel cheesy, I take that out and that's all I eat. So that actually restricts it. Yeah, and one final slide I want to show you. All these are examples of different tools and techniques coming up with it. The thing about lean, is people talk about saving times and stuff like that. But I see the transition. Instead of just calculating, the amount of time that I save, I actually have seen it through me being really a bit anal retentive according to people. I know I take that as a trophy, really winning award, because what's become of my brains? You're gonna laugh. This is very private. This is the toilet roll holder that I use. And if you see here, every single time, I need to replenish it. You'll see here that this toilet holder is not ideal. It's very, very slim. So every time I buy a toilet roll and put it in, I have to squeeze it and put it there. Yeah. And what I've done, come up with a solution, because it actually shows me, oh, this is not flow in my process. This is troublesome. So if you look here, this is how the toilet rolls come. Instead of having to squeeze each one every time I put it in, what happens is that when it's brand new, when I bring it home, all I do is squeeze the entire bulk. so that every time I open, I replenish, it's already squashed. I know that's 10-second savings, but the point of lean is not huge innovative moments where you save 30 minutes. It's all these small things that you see in life, all the waste in the process, you know. So how much time, effort, and money do you want to save? Yeah, because being lean, synonymous with continuous improvement, is the art of, well, micro wins. I think I'm more than 10 minutes up. I'm not going to carry on anymore. Thank you for listening.